The day of my daughter's 5th birthday was the 7th wedding anniversary between me and James Frost. On the same morning, before he went to work, I begged him to come home early so that we could celebrate our daughter's birthday. As for our wedding anniversary, it didn't matter to me if we celebrated it or not. We never did anyway. He nodded, which was his way of saying yes. However, he still wasn't home at 9 o'clock in the evening. I sent him a message asking him when he was coming home, but he didn't reply. I tried calling him, but he hung up instantly. Looking at the screen of my phone, my heart ached. I knew James hated me. That was why his attitude towards me over the past 7 years had always been indifferent. I never complained about it either. I just told myself that I brought this on myself. I fell in love with someone I shouldn't have. I was willing to be a replacement. However, our daughter was innocent. He shouldn't treat her like this as well. Laura's gaze was locked on the birthday cake on the table and her stomach was rumbling. My heart ached and tried to comfort her. Laura, let's not wait for Dad. He's still working. How about we dig in first? As soon as I finished speaking, the sound of the door being unlocked sounded. Dad's home. A smile immediately appeared on Laura's little face, and she quickly rushed to the door. I stood up from the sofa and was about to heat the food. When I raised my head, I saw James walking into the house with a girl that I didn't know in his arms. The little girl was wearing all pink, like a princess. Her little facial features were delicate like a doll. She was very cute and pretty. When I was sizing her up and down, she was also sizing me up and down. After a short pause, she wrapped her arms around James's neck, pointed at me, and asked, "Dad, who is she?" I widened my eyes in disbelief as I looked at James. She's his daughter? Who is the child's mother then? When was the child born? My mind was a mess. Too many questions appeared in my head, and I felt like my head was going to explode. "Baby, she's the nanny that I've hired for you." James's soft voice sounded. I was dumbfounded by his words and stood there as if I were struck by lightning. I had no idea how to react to his words. It was truly ironic. We were married for 7 years. I gave birth to a daughter for him and took care of the elders. But in the end, I became his nanny. My heart immediately sank. Mom. Laura immediately ran over to me and wrapped her arms around my leg. Her beautiful face was full of grievance. I rubbed her little head and felt sorry for her. When I was pregnant all those years ago, James wanted me to have an abortion at first. However, I was selfish back then and went against his will. I insisted on giving birth to the child. That was why James didn't like her either. It had been 5 years since Laura was born. James had never held her or kissed her. He hadn't even talked to her very much either. For a while, I was really naive to have thought that James didn't like children. Only now did I realize that it wasn't children that he didn't like. It was my child that he didn't like. I chuckled and bowed to him respectfully. "Mr. Frost, please pay me for the work that I've done for the past 7 years. James frowned and an unhappy look appeared on his face. "Didn't I just give you a sum of money?" "Mr. Frost, the money you've just given me was the money that you should give me as a husband and father. The money that I'm asking for right now is the money that you should give me for taking care of all the members of the Frost family as your nanny." James was very generous. He immediately transferred $20,000 to my bank account. "Is that enough?" I laughed at myself, but didn't say anything. All the things I had done for him for the past 7 years only got me $20,000. It was quite obvious that the money wasn't enough. The little girl in James's arms frowned and said in a cold voice, "Dad, I don't like this nanny. Let's fire her." I looked at the little one and realized that her eyes looked familiar. I then retorted, "What a coincidence. I don't like you either. Tell your dad to pay me the money I deserve to get, and I'll be on my way." "Catherine," James shouted angrily. "Brenda is only a child. Why are you arguing with her?" "Because I want to." I bit my lip to prevent my tears from trickling down my face. "I love you, James, but that doesn't mean I will love everything related to you. I'm not going to let your illegitimate daughter disrespect me like that." My words seemed to have upset Brenda. She began crying in James's arms. "Dad, I'm not an illegitimate daughter. I don't like her. Tell her to get lost." I ignored James's dark face and continued. "I'm sorry. This is my house. You're the one that needs to get lost."